All right, you guys got the full version of a little Billy Ocean there. Welcome to the Jeff Mayweather Show. Big week of fighting. We're going to get into the Floyd Mayweather Money Team stuff a little bit later. Bottom half of the hour, four of the fighters from the card are going to be joining us. Lanell, Bellows, Badou, Jack, J. Leon Love, Luis Arias. But right now we're going to do some other stuff. First, we're going to welcome Jeff Mayweather and Ashley Ferrara. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi there.
Hey, man, what's up,
Ashley?
man?
No, yeah, and we're going to welcome our first guest. A couple weeks ago. Oh, there we go. I left Ashley on hold. That's why she didn't say nothing. Look at me. Sorry, Ashley. Welcome.
That's okay. How are you doing?
Good. All right. Well, we're going to get started right away. Our first guest, if he was under the radar before a couple weeks ago, everybody sure knows who he is now. Huge performance against Vitali Klitschko, Chris Arreola, Bermane Stiverne. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. You're on with myself, Jeff, and Ashley.
It's a pleasure, man.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Hey, Jeff, before we get to Stiverne, Bernard, I can't speak today. Berman here. You've seen him in the gym the last couple of years. Did you see the fight? And what do you think of him as a fighter going into that?
I've seen the fight, to be honest, I never could really assess his talent because, I was always busy, so I didn't really get a chance to watch him work, not too often. But obviously, he had major talent, and displayed it on Chris Arreola's head. It was, he put up it was a brilliant performance. I don't really know if Arreola was favored. He was probably more popular and probably more known. But Berman went in there with a game plan and executed it. And once he dropped Arreola, the fight was over with.
All right. Ashley, what are your thoughts on the fight? I know you got to see it as well.
My thoughts were, I don't even know how you had the energy to go out for the last couple of rounds because, heavyweights, I know a lot of them go the distance, but, it just seems incredibly tiring, and I don't know how you did it. So I give you all the credit in the world.
Well, Berman, before we get to your thoughts on the fight, let me ask this beforehand. The one thing they had said earlier that you perhaps wanted to come in a little bit lighter, around 240 or so. You came in at 247. Was that something that was concerning to you at all?
No, I was actually 239 because I was told that the weigh-in was going to be early that day, and I tried to wait, before I eat and go on a scale. But then I was like, you know what, I got to eat, and I got to drink. So, so that's why, right, like an hour before the weigh-in, I went and we got some food, and I knew I was around 238, 239 before the food. So it didn't matter how heavy I was on the scale at this point.
Well, it's got to be nice being a heavyweight. We don't have to worry so much, right? I still got that same mentality, in the amateurs. I always try to keep my weight, but then I was like, you know what, I'm about to pass out. So, and on top of that, I'm a heavyweight, so I don't have to wait, so I went and eat, So it was probably about 6 or 7 pounds, maybe about even like 9 pounds. So, And Jeff, let me ask you this. You worked with heavyweights before. You've worked with, Sultan and that kind of thing. As far as working with guys like him, are you kind of the same way as Berman is here? You're not too worried about exactly what the number says because, ultimately, it really doesn't. I guess you have your different weights you want to come in at, but ultimately it's just a number.
In some cases it is, in some cases it's not because, the fighter himself has to know his body. Because sometimes you can overtrain by trying to get to a certain weight, and then sometimes, you can actually, as long as you put in the work, and not overtrain or try to make a target weight, you still should be good, because you're in condition, you put in your work, but there are heavyweights that they do target a weight, you know, and because they probably fought at that weight at a number of times, and their body felt comfortable at that weight, and they probably put up their best performances. So that's about the only time you'll really, you know, have a heavyweight that's actually, you know, focusing on a weight. And that, to me, it's kind of superstitious, but at the same time, it's also proof in the pudding. So it's one of those things that it varies from heavyweight to heavyweight, I think.
All right. And then Bermane, last thing before we get into the fight itself, you know, is, you know, you're pretty, normally seem like a pretty laid-back guy, but the press conference and that kind of stuff didn't go that way. You and Chris got into it a little bit. I think you said somebody you were going to cut his head off and this kind of thing. You know, did he really get under your skin, or do you want to make a statement, or was it just more of a promotion type thing?
No. I mean, I was speaking my mind on at that particular moment. So that's all it was. It wasn't nothing personal, you know. So I mean, I don't know how he took it, but you know, it wasn't nothing personal. It was at the time I was trying to find my words and try to be nice, but you know, I just let out the way I felt.
Right. Well, let's get into the fight itself. You know, Jeff said he wasn't sure, but actually, you know, Arreola was, you know, a pretty significant favorite over you. You know, I think a lot of people who, like I said, you kind of been under the radar, so maybe a lot of people thought you were just kind of a, you know, the last name for Arreola before he got a shot at Klitschko. So, you know, as the fight started, do you think that at any point that Arreola maybe was a little overconfident and didn't respect you? And if so, at what point do you think, you know, he kind of realized that you were the real deal?
I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know. I don't think so. I just, you know, he got one way to fight. He's been fighting the same way all his career. So, on top of that, for the past 9 months, I've been watching his fights and studying and watching his mistakes, and that's how I went to the ring, and you know what I'm saying, we had a game plan as well, so I had to follow instructions.
All right. Well, Jeff, let me cut over to you real quick, because I know, you know, before this fight, you know, the only, I guess, real name on your resume at that point would have been Ray Austin. I know, Jeff, you'd worked with him, so did you get to see that fight, Jeff? And did you think that would, you know, this fight would kind of play out the same way based on that performance?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see the fight with him and Ray, so I can't really speak on that.
Yeah. Well, Bermane, you know, did you, like I just said, you know, you didn't really have a big name on your resume except for maybe Ray. You know, was there ever a point that you said, okay, you know, it's a bigger name, but I can compete with this guy, or did you never have a doubt going into the fight that, you know, it was something you could handle?
No, never. No.
Because, you know, a lot of those guys, they get in there, you know, they fight this, you know, name of, you know, just building their resume, and then all of a sudden, you know, maybe when they get with someone that's a little better and a little well-known, I mean, obviously you took care of business, so it wasn't bothering you too much, but I just didn't know if maybe there was some point during the fight that you said, man, I really can do this. It's no problem for me. Did you?
Lost him, buddy.
Oh.
Lost him.
Yeah, we lost him. We'll get him back here, right here. All right, let me get him back here, guys.
Here.
Oh, yeah, we got you. That's all that matters, right?
Well, in my world, yeah, pretty much.
All right. Go ahead and tell him about your studies there real quick, and I'll get him right back. Be right back.
Jeff, are you going to come to graduation on Saturday?
Yes, I'm there.
Well, it's probably pretty boring. I actually don't recommend going.
Well, that's not nice to say.
I already went to my college one, and that was fun, but law school, they put a big hood on you, and it's called hooding. It's kind of a weird tradition, I think.
All right, we're back. I don't know. I'm sure it was a great story, but we got Bermane back here. He dropped there. Ashley, well, I'll keep you talking, though, Ashley. You know, you saw the fight. I don't know how well you knew Bermane going in, but what did you think? You know, I mean, obviously the third round, you know, everyone knew that he was, you know, the real deal, and this fight was not going the way at least the Arreola supporters thought. But what did you think in the early going, Ashley, up to that point?
Up until that point, I thought Arreola was not performing as well as I thought he was going to. I mean, he looked trimmer than I'm used to seeing him, so I thought maybe he had, gotten in really good shape and was going to be up for the challenge, but I really didn't see that very much, and after the knockdown, I just thought, it's only a matter of time, so it was a little longer than I thought it was going to be, but...
And Bermane, when you knocked him down there right at the end of the round, did you notice in the fourth round on, did his demeanor change at all? Did you see that maybe he lost confidence or he thought he was in trouble? Or, what did you see out of him at that point?
No, he's known for taking the beating and come back and beat his opponent, which he did with the last three. They knocked him down or they hurt him and they just get overexcited and on him, and then they get counter easy, and then that's when he comes back and beat them. So I just, I knew maybe if I had a little bit of time in the third round, I'd probably try to take him out, but I knew once he got that rest, that 1 minute, he was going to recuperate real good.
Now, Jeff, as a trainer, let me ask you this. It seemed like after he busted him in the nose, it was pretty apparent he had a broken nose. It seemed like Bermane started concentrating on the body a little bit, which, if you can't breathe out your nose very well, it's a pretty good strategy. As a trainer, putting your training hat on, is that something you would have suggested to him, or how would you have had him handle the rest of the fight at that point?
Oh, no, I'm like this. If I see somebody and I see some blood, I want to see some more of it. I would try to break his nose all the way off his face.
Well, same question to you, Bermane. Was that something that you thought maybe, going to the body with him already having difficulty breathing would be a good strategy, or?
I mean, the number one thing we talked about was going to the body all night. I just threw the right hand because I kind of on the second round, I saw like 3 opportunities where I could throw the right hand in the second round. And he did it again in the third round. So that's when I tried and throw the right hand, and I caught him with it. But our plan was just keeping the jab in his face and going downstairs to the body.
As the fight went along, go ahead and finish.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of worked because I started working on his body maybe the fourth round to the end of the fight. And,
well, yeah, I mean,
we got to remember, I fought Arreola. You got to remember, I fought a guy that likes to get hit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I saw you in the gym last week, and it looked like you hadn't even been in a fight. Your face was all fine, but yeah, I definitely you could tell he'd been in a fight. If he liked it, that's what he got for sure.
Yeah.
Now, went to the cards. After you, as the fight progressed, it became more and more clear that you were the busier, more active fighter, that you'd done more damage, and it really was pretty clear that it was your fight. However, it's boxing, and sometimes the bigger names get decisions and that kind of thing. So when it went to the cards, was there ever any doubt that, man, I don't know if I should let that go to decision?
Yeah, I thought about that. That's why, like the 12th round, the last round, I tried to knock him out. I went for it, but he was still, I tried to finish him in the 12th round, but I failed. But I don't know. I didn't see myself. I didn't think that the judge was going to be that crazy because I've seen some crazy decisions before, but I didn't. I was like, nah, I don't think they're going to do that this time. That was clear, you know what I'm saying? So it would have been. I would have to call the cops if something like that would happen.
Well, it was definitely clear. It was kind of surprising. It showed the final stats. You actually only landed, 15 more punches overall, but you threw more than 2 times as many punches, which was, pretty amazing that you threw, 700 and whatever it was, to his 300 and something. So that was definitely pretty clear that you were the more active guy. But, coming out of this fight, the best news of all is, that and you just got announced here in the last couple of days that for sure, you're going to be the mandatory for Vitali Klitschko. So tell me about that and your thoughts when you heard that was a done deal.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It's not everybody that get up in the morning and fight for the words out. So I'm still waiting on hearing about what's the details. I know they haven't purse bid on the third, or they got till the third to come to an agreement. But right now, I'm just waiting and to see what's the outcome on the third.
Well, I guess there was some speculation. People didn't know if Klitschko was going to fight again, that maybe he'd just go ahead and retire. But I guess he made that clear that he plans on coming back. So that's good for you. I mean, any heavyweight, that's what you grew up fighting. Dreaming of getting a fight for a world championship. Yeah. So that's got to be cool as hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Listen, I'm just right now I'm just happy to know that it's like it's secure. It's in the bank that I'll be fighting for it. But just to know that nobody could take that away from me, which they did 2 years ago.
Right. Now, Jeff, you've been. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bermane. No. Jeff, let me ask you this. You're someone that's been on the opposite side of the Klitschko. Bermane has a chance of his lifetime to become world heavyweight champion. What's he need to do against Vitali?
Well, the thing is that the heavyweight division, so gotta land a big shot. Hopefully, cancel him. It's gonna be, Bermane is just as sure as I am. Whenever they do fight, the fight more than likely is gonna be probably in Germany, and chances are, he's gonna have to knock him out anyway. So, that's that's not that he should have to have that mindset, because, it's unfortunate that, sometimes boxing is that way, because sometimes it's just not fair, So the only really true way, he can win the title is basically, let his fist do the talking, and, hopefully he can knock him out, But because if he don't knock him out, he's gonna have to win probably 10 out of 12 rounds to get a decision.
Right. Yeah, Bermane, adding on to that, is that something that worries you? Because, obviously going in Germany, the Klitschkos are huge there. You're going to be a huge underdog. Everyone's going to want you to lose over there. And like Jeff said, you're not going to get a decision. So what advantage do you think you have over Vitali? And then does that bother you that maybe you have to change your strategy a little bit because you probably have to get a knockout to get and there's no decision going to come your way?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. But be sure anything is possible, and going over there, you have to go for the knockout. It's basically you need it when you go over there. Even with a knockout, you can get a draw. So
right.
It's really I don't know. It's something. I don't know. But that's the minimum I could do is probably get a knockout. That's you have to knock him out. Otherwise, you're not going to get a decision. I'm aware of that.
Right.
But, it's just about getting back in the gym and putting a little bit more work that I put in for Arreola. So.
Well, yeah, just a couple more things and we'll get you out of here. Speaking of getting ready for Arreola and that kind of thing, I know one thing that bothered you was that fight got delayed repeatedly. How pissed off were you about that, and how much did it affect you? And I know you don't want that to happen for your next fight.
Hell yeah, it did, because when I first heard about the fight, we started camp at June 4th. Then I got my weight down. With my weight, I got down to 233. That's what I was going to for the March 9th. Then the week before, it got canceled, you know. So it was frustrating, man. You know, you want to stay in camp that long, and felt like I was in some type of, I don't know, sect or something. You know, I couldn't do nothing. I mean, I'm still in Vegas. Vegas is what, but you can't really, even though, I mean, you're in Vegas, you can't really do anything because you in camp and everything. So you restrain yourself from everything, and then you got also, you know, family members, your loved one you can't see, and you can't really, you know, you're so far away from them. So yeah, it was frustrating. The combination of everything was frustrating, and to know that, you know, he was never sick. The sick thing was a lie. He was just trying to buy time to get in shape. So that was really, of course, it was frustrating. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, Jeff, we'll let you go. But Jeff, have you ever had a fighter do that where you kind of, you know, faked an injury for your guy because he maybe wasn't really ready to fight, like apparently was the case with Chris?
No, not that I can think of. No, I've never been.
Or not that you're gonna tell us about, right?
I don't think nobody's gonna tell that, but no, I don't think so. That's never happened with me.
Yeah, that's kind of really frustrating for you. Like you said, you know, you took time to get your body in shape and peak, you know, when you thought you would, you know, be best, and then unfortunately you got someone that's not quite ready. You know, hey, it's Chris Arreola. You know, he's a talented boxer, but he's never in tip-top physical shape anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you look at Chris likes to bully his opponent and push them in the ropes and unload his punches, and that's how he gets his wins. But you know, like I said, I've studied the man. I studied the man. So like every night, every day, I looked at his fight. And, you know.
Well, you know, it's unlike most boxers. You know, you got a little bit of a later start. You know, you're somewhere in your mid-20s, I think, when you first started. So you're 35 or so now. You know, obviously, I'll say what's next for you, but you know, obviously you'll be fighting for the world title. What else do you want to accomplish? You know, in the sport before you finish, besides obviously beat Vitali Klitschko?
Obviously, get the title. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be it's a huge step. So for now, that's it. That's what's on my mind right now. So
yeah.
You it can't get bigger than this. Now you talk about the heavyweight champion of the world, you know. So
yeah.
It's why, you know, everybody knows in boxing the real champ. Not disrespecting no other weights, but the real champion is the heavyweight boxer. The heavyweight title.
Oh, yeah.
Heavyweight champ.
Yeah, and just ask one for the fifth time, one last question. Is beating a Klitschko kind of a, you know, a bigger deal because of their, you know, their history than maybe if it had just been someone else that upset them, and then you got, I mean, is it really important that you beat a Klitschko for your legacy?
Yeah, even to have him on my record, or fight for the world title, that's a great accomplishment, because a lot of fighters that fought for years, that never even fought for a world title.
All right, we're going to get you out of here. Ashley, I know I've kept you kind of quiet here, but Ashley, do you have anything else you wanted to throw in there?
No, I think that, you know, good job. Keep looking out for it. Now we're excited to see you in the ring again, for sure.
Thank you very much.
And Jeffrey?
Well, the one thing I was waiting for Chris Arreola to say, and he didn't say it, is that I look like Shrek. I'd like to congratulate Bermane. You know, I got a chance to see him and shake his hand, and, you know, and congratulate him. But once again, I congratulate him and wish him nothing but the best in the title fight.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, Bermane, and then do you have any, I see you're not too active on Twitter, but do you have any Twitter, Facebook, and that kind of stuff you want to promote out there for the fans that want to keep up with you?
I was the Beast Stiverne.
Oh, that's why I was looking at the wrong one, huh? That's why I have a fake Bernard on there.
There's a fake one out there. I didn't even know. I was trying to use my name, and I couldn't use my own name. Well,
same here.
Going on, yeah. The real one is B, as the letter B, and my last name, Stiverne.
Actually, if you send a little letter there to Twitter, it'll take them about a week and a half or 2 weeks, but they'll get you that name if someone's posing as you, because we had to do it with our website. So, just that. Well, thanks very much. We appreciate it, and best of luck to you. Definitely can't wait to see you in the ring with Vitali Klitschko there. I don't know, whenever it happens in several months. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, man. It was a pleasure.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care.
All right, that was Bermane Stiverne. It was a great fight. I know it's probably a lot of people were expecting different result and Chris Arreola to go there. We ran a little longer than I wanted to there. I'm going to start rounding up the guys from the money team. Obviously, we want to talk about Floyd and his fight, so I have to call 5 people. So you know what, Ashley, I'm going to turn it over to you again, and why don't you guys talk about Floyd's fight? And also, first, before we do that, Ashley, I know you got. You're going to be on the Showbox card this weekend working that. So talk about that and then get into Floyd. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Sounds good. This Friday, I will be ring carding the Showbox card, and it's going to be a pretty good one. It's an IBF elimination for the junior welterweight title. And we have, it's going to be in Oklahoma. It's going to be pretty far northeast Oklahoma, so it takes a while to get there. It's Dirigen and Cletus Pendarvis. And I guess my question for you, Jeff, is, Dirigen has been out of Canada twice in his entire life, and now he's coming to rural Oklahoma to fight. How do you think that impacts, how he's going to do?
Well, I don't know what the impact of what he's going to do. I'm sure he's going to be shocked.
I don't even think. I think French is his first language also.
Wow.
I think he's in for a big shock, actually.
Yes, I was in for a big shock when I first went there. I was like, this place really exists?
Yes. Shockingly, it does. Well, that is that, and, I guess we should move on to discussing last week's fight card. All was happy in the Mayweather family, I assume.
Yeah, I would think so. Things went as planned, so, and in some cases it probably even went better.
Well, that's good. I heard that, for Showtime to break even, they would have to sell between 1.1 and 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, and initial forecasts don't necessarily look like that's necessarily going to happen. But a win is a win, and that's, kind of what matters at the end of the day, right?
Yes. Because basically, that's what it's about, as long as Floyd, continues to win, they continue to, have major events, because when Floyd fights, it's an event. It's not just a regular fight. So many people come out, and for Las Vegas, they make so much money, all in just 1 week, in 1 weekend.
Yeah.
So, it's a major event.
I'm so impressed with all of the celebrities that came out for the fight. It seems like every fight Floyd has, there are just more and more celebrities present. So definitely a big draw, it seems like.
Yeah, well, what I was most impressed with is Ruben Guerrero wore the same shirt 4 days in a row. I couldn't believe it. I did.
Do you think he had 4 different shirts, or did he keep wearing the same one?
I hope he had a whole closet full of the same shirts. Because he wore that shirt to the press conference. He wore that shirt to media day. He wore that shirt. He even wore the shirt on fight night.
Well, maybe it's like one of those baseball things. You can't change your shirt. You got to stay with what's good luck.
Well, don't get me wrong. First of all, to me, they were asinine anyway. Robert himself was talking about he was God, like God chose him. Talking about God chose him chose me to humble Floyd. Well, you must got the wrong memo because you're the one that got humble. You know, I mean, but how? But I mean, to me, that's just stupidity.
Yeah.
Because we're all God's children. God is not going to choose you because you go to the damn 700 Club and then leave there, go to the airport with a gun. That makes you a fool. That's what it does. Doesn't have nothing to do with boxing or anything. So how are you the chosen one? You know what I mean? I mean, you want... No, go ahead.
Well, you have to, in some ways, you have to rationalize, you know, there being a reason for you to get in a boxing ring with, you know, one of the greatest boxers ever. You know, in your head, you have to try to rationalize it somehow. Maybe that's what he's doing. I mean, because, you know, most normal people wouldn't think, oh, I think this is a good idea.
Well, I mean, it's a good idea when you're going to make millions of dollars. So that in itself is a good idea. Only thing you have to do is be able to walk out the ring, and you're going to the bank.
Well, that's true.
So, I can understand that. Anyone can, you know, I can understand that logic from anyone. But, you know, I mean, when you go into this, you know, this religious act of, you know, you're holier than thou, and then you go to that extreme.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a bit much.
Yeah, I think that, you know, the best part of the card were actually the undercard fights. Now, those were some pretty good, enjoyable fights to watch. Did you get to watch any of those, or were you not really concentrating on that?
No, I got a chance to. I like the Ivan Morris fight. That was a really good fight, him and Ponce de Leon, because they went at it. And then there was another fight. There was other guys, I don't really know who they was, but the one guy was getting killed, and the referee took forever to stop the fight.
See, I think some people would say that maybe, you know, I mean, it was definitely interesting. You hate to see somebody get hit like that continuously, but I guess the rest know better than me. I mean, I'm not sure, but it was certainly some good fights on the undercard, and it seemed like was MGM sold out by the end?
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty much sold out.
Because I knew they had a few. I knew they had some tickets left a couple days before, but sounds like it all worked out. So now, when do you have a fighter fighting next?
I think I have lots of fights in June. I have about 5 fighters fighting in June.
All right, so
MMA. I have MMA, I have boxing, and I have kickboxing.
Now, did you get to see the Klitschko fight at all from Saturday?
No.
It was certainly an interesting fight. You know, it was, I think, 20-1 odds, or it was pretty terrible odds.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Bling, bling, bling. Got the data. You ain't talking money.
All right, guys. Thanks for Bermane joining us earlier. Now we got several members of the Money Team going to join us. We also got a special co-host joining us for this segment. We're going to be joined by possibly maybe future member of the Money Team. Who knows? We're joined by Zach Cooper, going to help us co-host this segment. And right now we're joined by 3 members of the Money Team. We're missing one. I'll give you one guess of who that is. Jeff, who do you think it is?
Say it again? I can't hear you.
I'd say we're short one member of the Money Team, but hopefully he'll be here in a few minutes. But we're joined right now by Jay Leon. You know, he's a pain in the ass to get on this phone, but we got the other guys. We got Lanell, Bellows. We got Badou, we got Luis Arias. Welcome, guys, to the show. Congratulations on all your wins. You all 3-0, of course, and the entire Money Team 6-0. Welcome to the show with myself, Jeff Mayweather, and Ashley Ferrara.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Man.
All right, well, hey, let's start in order here. Congratulations first to Lanell. I was really proud of you. You opened up the card, set off the tone there for the. What's that?
I said scumbag one.
Is that your nickname?
I guess so.
Well, Lanell, first you have to tell us, you started out things right. You got the 4th round knockout. I talked to you before. You said there was no bad taste in your mouth from your last fight, but if there was, you certainly took care of things on this night. How did it feel to get that win and start things out for the money team?
Well, it was definitely a blessing. We in the gym. We working hard. Me and my team, as far as my stable mates, my coaches. We in there. We putting it in consistently and every day. So I just thank God that I was in there and pulled off the victory. It felt great.
I got a question.
Then,
I got a quick question.
All right, go ahead.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
All right, so up to this fight, you was battling a lot of stuff, going on in your head and stuff like that. Did it feel like a burden was left off, was pulled off your shoulders, or how'd that feel after you got that win?
Well,
because you had the family and everybody in attendance.
Well, that's really not no problem. The pressure of just performing is heavy enough for me. So being that I went out there and got the victory, of course it was a burden lifted, but the journey is still long and drawn out. So, it continues nonetheless. But yeah, that night is behind me. Like I said, thank God I was victorious, and now we on the grind. I'm back in the gym today.
Yeah. He got one knockout today in the gym. First day back, he headbutted a dude, and it was over quick.
We're not gonna talk about headbutts with the size of your head.
All right, and then probably the most impressive performance of the night, or certainly close to it, Badou Jack. Hell of a fight. You went up against a guy in Benga who just been the distance. Granted, he didn't really win any rounds, but he went the distance, and a tough guy like Andre Durrell. You've kind of been padding your resume, and this is the first guy, maybe that was, well, not the first guy, but a really tough opponent for you, and you got him out of there in the 3rd round. Going second there, how did that feel to completely dominate a fighter like that?
Yeah, it felt good, to beat a tough guy like that, but, I could tell after the 2nd round, he couldn't take my power, so I know it's going to be a short night.
All right. And then Luis got and then Luis, your fight, somehow you got a majority decision. I don't know what the one was thinking about, but somehow you got a more majority decision. Maybe not your best performance, but you did get to go 6 rounds for the first time in your career. How did that feel?
Yeah. I felt good. Obviously, there was a lot. We're in shape for 6 rounds. I was in shape to keep going, but it felt good to get the rounds in. It was most definitely a learning experience for me. Daniel was a tough opponent. He had more amateur fights than me. He had more pro fights than me. So this was my step up. I felt like I handled it pretty well. Obviously, I could have did much better. There was a lot of things that I got away from, but I was just in the heat of the moment of things. I really wanted to knock him out. That's what the bottom line was. I really wanted to knock him out, and the way I set the knockup out this time, I wasn't setting it up right. I got a little over anxious. I felt like I hurt him. When I hurt him, I tried to get him out of there and just in an inexperienced type of way. That was just me showing a lack of experience trying to go for the knockout. But it was a good learning experience for me. I'm glad that I was able to show that I can go 6. Because I'm most definitely ready to step up in the round. So overall, like I said, it was a good learning experience. But we did what we had to do. As long as we came up with a victory, and it was a crowd-pleasing fight. But next time, I hope to make it a little easier and not force myself to make a lot of those mistakes that I made.
All right. And this is for everybody here. Just I think it was something like 38-0 or something like that. Your guys' combined record was going in the fight. How important is that to you guys to keep that there, and do you feel like a sense of obligation to the team to keep going strong and not let the other guys down?
Absolutely. We all are winners, so
our prime objective is to put in the work and go out there and win. So I speak. I mean, they're on the phone as well, but I speak for all of us. It's very important that we keep on out there grinding hard and winning.
Right.
We don't have no losers.
What do you?
Money team.
Well, Jeff, let me ask you. Oh, go ahead. Someone speak. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I just said that we don't got no losers on the money team.
Right. Now, Jeff, someone that's in the gym, you don't train these guys here, but you're in the gym all the time. You see them work. How important, is that competition, the friendly competition these guys have with each other, help them as far as their pro career goes?
Well, I mean, I think that the one thing in the gym, I think that there's great chemistry, not with just the guy that's on the money team, but I think just the gym in general, because everybody pushes everybody in the gym, And, of course, I mean, there's a lot of guys that have aspirations of being a part of the money team, but still, even if you're not a part of the money team, I mean, everybody still pushes everybody, and everybody is, is cordial and friendly with everybody. So, I mean, it's a great place to just to be there, just to train.
Right. And Zach, what about you? You're 2-0. You just started on your career. Some people like Lanell aren't that much further along than you, but you do have people up like Ishe, who's the world champion. So what's it like for you to be around these guys and learn from them and work with them?
Oh, well, I mean, with me, man, I take a lot from all of them, man. Like with Lanell, man, it's like I could tell you one thing about each one of them. Like with Lanell's by far the hardest worker. You know what I'm saying? He's by far one of the hardest workers I've ever seen in any sport. If you say Floyd, a lot of people say, Floyd's a hard worker and stuff like that, man. But, if you throw it up there 1A and 1B, Lanell's going to be right there. He's first one in the gym, last one out of the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's why we call it, no handout game, because ain't nothing ever been handed out to us. We've had to go out there and take it. So and Lanell's like a big brother. He gives guidance and stuff like that. Tells me what I'm doing wrong and what I can do right and stuff like that. So he's a really good guy. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see the best for him. Badou, I take a lot away from Badou, because Badou is he stays humble. You know what I'm saying? He's really, really humble. You know what I'm saying? And he works hard and stuff like that. And the thing about it is that he doesn't take it, he doesn't take it as a game or anything like that. But he also has a laid-back mentality and can have a little bit of fun. So, that's where you see, a lot of my playful attitudes come out, because even during my camps and stuff, I'm still a little bit playful until, like, the last 2 weeks when I start getting really, really, serious and honing in. And with Cuba, what I take from Cuba is Cuba's probably the most vicious out of all of them. He's the most vicious when it comes in the ring. Like, Cuba has that mentality where after you fight him, man, you probably ain't gonna be the same for a while. I mean, you're gonna take some punishment. A lot of people go in there to win the fight, get the knockout and stuff. Cuba has that mentality to where he really wants to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And I look at that and I say, when I fight, I want people to actually see that, what I'm saying, that I'm not anyone to play around with. And, scare a little bit of my opponents and get that mind frame. Get that mental edge over them to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And De Leon's probably the most talented in the sense of how he moves and everything like that. So I look at a lot of his stuff and I try to steal a lot of his setup punches and everything like that. So they're good group of guys and stuff like that. And the only thing I can do is I can just be lucky to learn from them and stuff like that, and learn and more and grow every day.
All right. Well, speaking of Jay Leon, we're going to bring on the slacker of the money team here. Jay Leon has now joined us. Jay Leon, welcome to the show, and you're on with all the guys.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? Yo.
Hey, and before we get started with you, Jay Leon, I think anyone listening at home there, we're going to do a little drinking game. Every time that Jeff Mayweather or Jay Leon says, at the end of the day, you need to take a shot. I think that'd be that'd be a good thing to do.
Somebody about to pass out.
Well, let's start it off. At the end of the day, it's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Anyway, Jay Leon, congratulations. We just started with everybody here, but you've had a few days to reflect. You're now NABF champion. How does it feel to be here, get a title for the first time?
No, it's definitely a blessing, and it's a great opportunity to have the privilege. So right now, it's not soaking in. You know what I mean? I'm definitely satisfied and happy.
Right. Let's talk a little about each. Well, actually, I hadn't cut over to you yet. I know Ashley, you got a chance to see a lot of these fights, and for those you haven't met, it's Ashley Ferrara. She's in Oklahoma. She's our co-host here. Ashley, I know you got to see most of these fights. Anything particular stand out to you?
Well, I mean, when I was watching your fight, Jalen, I was just hoping that the decision was going to come down in your favor, because when it's close like that, you just never know, and it made me nervous. But you came out on top, so that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it is a blessing to be on top and to have a victory. So yeah, I did come out on top, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And speaking from a ring card girl perspective, we always appreciate when fights go the distance. So.
All right. Hey, but Badou, let's talk about your fight for a second. Like I said, you got to go the distance with the guy. Obviously you got on there quickly when he just went the distance with Jarrell. One thing that was quite obvious that with his awkward style, he was just tailor-made for you and your counter-punching. How quickly was that something you knew going in, or was that something you realized right away that, man, I can just counter this dude all day long?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Was that for me or was that for somebody else?
That's for Badou.
Oh, my bad, Badou. I'm trying to steal your time.
The only one I thought thinks is that Benga, so.
I'm trying to steal your time, Badou, man. You know what I'm saying? My fault, dude.
No good. No problem, brother. Yeah, I mean, he was throwing wide punches, crazy, awkward style, but, yeah, I know I had him at the weigh-in. You mentioned
he couldn't handle your power, and obviously that showed quite well with the knockout blow that he complained was low, that clearly wasn't low. You think he was looking for a way out of it?
Yeah, of course. Because everybody got a plan till they get hit, and he didn't want more of that body work, so. He's a tough guy, though. Tough guy, but tough ain't enough.
And so where do you think that puts you? Fight someone at that level, you're getting ready to probably take that Jay Leon step. Like I mentioned to Jay Leon, Rosado was kind of the first guy that he wasn't supposed to be, just a resume guy. It seems like you're probably in line for that next, ready to fight a tough guy that many consider, real competition for you. Is that where you think you're at?
Yeah, I think the next fight, or maybe on Floyd in September, probably. So, I'm ready.
So all right, and then going over to you, Lanell, with your fight. You fought a dude that seemed like he was about two weight classes above you. He's a big dude, but obviously you were the one doing the damage there. You hurt him a couple times. Just thoughts on the fight. Was that something you're worried about, and how was your confidence coming out of that fight?
Well, as far as the size difference, everybody be bigger than me. So that's just another day in the office, My confidence did go up, being that I know there was somebody that was there that didn't want to. He came to fight. He didn't want to lose his oath just like I did. Only thing was I wasn't going to lose my oath, and that wasn't the plan for him to lose his, So, it helped my confidence. It just made me happy. I'm back in the gym already, so it just made me want to work even harder. I'm not satisfied. I'm just trying to stay humble and hungry, man, and I'm ready for whatever's next.
Hey, Jeff, is that you with the TV really loud?
Yeah, ain't me.
That TV ain't even on. Jay Leon, probably.
You know how them old people be? That's Jeff. You know how them old people can't hear? That's Jeff.
Yeah. I noticed you like to blame stuff on Jay Leon, man. Don't do that.
No, let me tell you something.
You should have heard the shit we were talking about you before you got on here, man. We were ripping on you.
You know that Jay Leon anyway, because I always had to come and turn the music down.
We'll get to you in just a second, Jill. And the last one I'll talk about real quick, Luis, you kind of mentioned too, Livingston was, a big step up for you, a guy that, like you was really highly, decorated as an amateur, tough guy. He's had more pro fights. As far as your fight goes, you mentioned you had more power than him. Did it pretty much play out the way you expected?
Yeah, I felt like he was gonna do that. I had watched film on Daniel, and what I was able to pick up off the film was that he had conditioning problems. So from the get-go, my game plan was to bring the fight to him. The only thing is, he came in better shape than I thought, and he came to fight. You know, he really came to win the fight. So he made me think a little bit. You know, he did pull out a little his experience on me, but I mean, at the end of the day, I fought. You know, I did what I had to do. I had to rough him up, and I had to, you know, try to wear him down. So I mean, it was a great fight. You know, and I'm happy that I was able to show to the world, you know, that I can get through some tough times. But you know, let's just keep moving forward. Hopefully, my next fight will be an 8-rounder, so I can start, you know, getting those rounds in.
Yeah, I think we'll have to add Luis into that at the end of the day, a drinking game, right? All right, Jay Leon, speaking to you, you know, your fight, obviously the one that was, you know, I guess the most controversial. A lot of people felt that you know, maybe Rosado did enough to win, especially considering the knockdown. I don't think anyone said it's, you know, really not really robbery. I mean, it was a close fight either way. Have you had a chance to look at your fight, and what do you think about it?
No, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I know it was a very close fight. And, you know, a lot of people scored it a draw or, you know, either 1 point for me or 1 point for him. You know, it was a good fight. It was something that I needed. You know, I had to face adversity in the fight. You know, it was a lot. It was a good experience. I fought a tough guy. I mean, at the end of the day, you take a shot. Take a shot. Take a shot. You know, it was all good. You know, I came out victorious. People can say whatever. At the end of the day, I'm not a judge. So, I'll leave it at that. Take another
Jeff,
shot.
what time did you get? Yeah, 2 shots there. So if Luis counts, that's 3 shots. So people are well on their way. Jeff, what time did you get? What fight did you catch? I know you ended up getting there a little bit late, but you know, your thoughts on Jay Leon's fight and the other ones you saw.
I thought it was a very, very tough fight on both sides. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a situation where the fight. Oh, I forgot. I guess, no, I mean, you know, it was a very, very close fight. And the fight could have went either way, and that's what happened.
Right.
And so,
hey, Zach, you know, something that works for these guys. You know, what's it like with you not being able to be on the card, but checking them out fighting, and what were your thoughts on some of the things that went on?
Oh man, I had a good seat, man. I was right there behind press row, so I got to see everything, man. I think with Jay Leon's fight, I was shocked that people was booing because I actually had him winning by 1 round. Me and Hassan and Jay Leon's cousin were all sitting next to each other. We was actually counting the rounds, and we broke it down and stuff like that. Like each round, we'd be like, Jay won that round, or Rosado won that round. And I think Jay won it. I think that it was a tough fight. You know, I mean, Jay had to get down. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. You know, people count the knockdown and say, oh, well, you know, he lost because he got knocked down and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's not about how you get knocked down. It's how you get up and you respond after that. That's what makes you a champion. And Jay got up. And, you know, and Jay battled back, and Jay he did very good later in that round, but then he also came on strong in the rounds after that, you know. So I think I hats off to him, you know what I'm saying? He worked hard and stuff like that. Rosado by no means was a punk, you know what I'm saying? Rosado was, you know what I'm saying, he's a seasoned veteran, he's a good fighter, you know what I'm saying? And the simple fact that I was telling people, you know, he's not going to get stopped, in the simple fact that even Golovkin didn't stop him, you know what I'm saying? He beat the hell out of him, but he didn't stop him. So, you know, it was good to see Jay succeed, you know what I'm saying? As far as Badou won't tell you guys that I was the one that told him to go to the body, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. I mean,
you and about 100 other people in the crowd.
Hey, Badou, man, you owe me what?
Yo, that's your fire. What's his name? Malinaji. You sound like an expert commentator.
I'm saying you owe me 10% of your purse. I want that shit tomorrow. I know I want it tomorrow.
Lanell, give it to you.
I said go to the body.
I told him before they even got in the ring. I told him that like 4 days before the fight.
I always go to the body.
You really want some credit.
I just want my 10%.
Good. You sound like Kenny Johnson.
Hey, Jeff, you better relax, or I not pay you my 10% on my purse. All right?
Oh my God. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that.
Missed out on that big money.
I won't be able to go to McDonald's.
No, I'm proud of all of it, man. You know, I mean, the thing about it is I'm happy when I see all of them succeed. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, Lanell got back on track with a knockout. Luis stayed undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Jay brought home the belt, and Badou, you know, he's continuing, you know what I'm saying, thrashing people, you know. So, you know, I'm happy for all of them. I'm happy to see them succeed. I'm happy to see all their coaches get the just dues that they deserve, you know. And, you know, I'm just happy for everybody at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, everybody almost to be hammered. All right, hey, you know, this will be kind of cool. You know, let's ask each of you guys to kind of, we'll ask you some questions about your fellow money team members, and let me know what your opinions are. Luis, we'll start with you. Who on the money team, you know, we'll exclude Floyd, but, you know, as far as the other guys, who's the biggest smart ass of the group?
Who's the biggest smart ass?
Yeah.
I would say.
And Ashley, you think it's some questions like this, too, because we're going to go to you next.
I would say.
All right, so who do you say, Luis?
I would say probably Badou.
Badou?
He don't say nothing.
There's difference if you're a smart ass and a smart person.
That's why
I'm older, so I'm wiser, you know.
Is that anyone disagree with that, or does everyone kind of agree?
Really do. Ishe.
Brittany, right?
Ishe.
Yeah.
Well, the next one, we'll ask you, Badou. We'll ask the next one, Badou, and I already have my answer. But, you know, I would have to say it's definitely Jay Leon. But who's got the biggest, especially based on the last couple of weeks in the gym, but who's got the biggest mouth?
Biggest mouth? Probably Jay.
Goddamn right I do.
What's it, Jay Leon? Even for you seem to be extra mouthy the past couple of weeks. What's up with that? Was that just getting yourself hyped up, or what?
Nah, man, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, take a shot.
You can back it up, though.
You got to back it up, but, you know, sometimes I just be feeling myself, man, and you know, just want to be me. I mean, I can be quiet and chill, and I can be a loudmouth, you know what I mean? That's just, you need that in the gym. You need that around, you know what I mean? I don't want to be the quiet one, you know, I want to stand out.
Ashley, let's have you ask one for Lanell.
Say it again,
Ashley? Oh,
what?
We lost. Oh, Luis got put on hold there, man. I'm sorry. Luis must have got just. Luis, you're back on. Sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, Ashley.
Yes.
Hey, so you got a question for one of them?
I mean,
I do.
What?
You there?
I got a question for Ashley.
Uh-oh. Now be respectful. All right, what's the question?
All right, Ashley, who's the cutest?
Sorry, guys, it's Jeff. I hate to tell you.
Oh! She learned her lesson there. Hey, Lanell. All right, Lanell, we'll ask you one here, and I'll get who's the toughest in sparring? You know, who's the one guy that's really brutal in there?
Oh man, that's a hard call because everybody do their own thing, and I know I'm a dog. You feel me? So I don't really know, and everybody else on the team, it's all dogs. That's why we the dog house veterans. You know what I mean? So I can't really say who's the toughest. I just say anybody come in there, they can get that first. All
right. And then who did we get? Yeah, we didn't ask We didn't ask Jay Leon. Jay Leon, who's the one guy that you go to if you got like a personal issue? Who's the one guy that you feel the most confidence in?
Everybody. I mean, that's what we are. We are a family, man. You can go to anybody. You can go to Badou. All these guys is 100. They keep it 1,000% with you. If they don't like it, they're gonna let you know. If it's something that they gotta say, they're gonna let it be said. At the end of the day, if you need, take a shot. If you need something to say, if you have any personal issues, any issues, period, you can always go to Cuba, Lanell, me, Badou, even Zach. You know what I mean? These guys,
even Jack.
You can go to any of these guys in the gym. They're gonna always, keep it 100% honest with you and give you the right advice, I think.
Right. Hey, Badou, who do you think, you were a second fight, so I assume you got to see most of the fights there. Which performance, stood out the most to you of everybody on the card?
Sorry, my bad. I couldn't hear you. One more time.
We found a loud guy. It's Badou. See, we were blaming Jeff and Jay Leon, but it's Badou there. But, you were second on the card. Was there one particular fight that really stood out for you? Who shined the brightest out of the Mighty Team guys?
I gotta say Floyd though, but I thought it was gonna be a tougher fight for Floyd, but I didn't see Guerrero win one round.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. As far as the rest of you guys did, what were your thoughts on the big? Obviously, a lot of people, everyone thought Floyd was going to win, but there was questions. He hadn't been active in a while, so maybe he was, not going to be quite as good as he was. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, said, his legs are gone, his reflexes are not there anymore, blah, blah, blah. But he proved everybody wrong, so he looked amazing.
It's kind of hard to stop a guy at that caliber that's been there so many times and so athletic. You got to think, this man doesn't drink, doesn't do anything. He's always working out, doing something. So, I mean, even if your timing is off, he's always doing something, working. I mean, yeah, he has fun and does the things that he just does outside of boxing, but he's always doing something to stay active, stay in some type of shape. So, as far as that, it's kind of hard to take a guy, take a guy away from the game, like that. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. And, people, I listened to a lot of the comments. Floyd was supposed to stop him, or he ran, or this and that. We in a boxing game. You're supposed to stop whatever the guy's doing. If I'm outboxing you, moving around, or using my movement, it's your fault if you can't stop me from doing that. You know what I mean? So you can only give a guy credit, man. He looked great, put on a great performance, showed class, showed over a ball of talent. I mean, I think he came out on top like we knew he would, but, I mean, he did it in a good fashion. You don't always have to stop a guy to show something to the world or whatever the case. The man is 44-0. I think that's enough right there.
Right. Anybody else want to jump in?
Well, I thought he just reiterated the fact that he's still in the game, he's still in great condition, and that he is arguably the greatest. I mean, he literally just made a four-time world champion. Looked like he wasn't even in the same category as himself. He made a great fighter look bad. So, I mean, it was a great performance. I mean, could have called it, but he got much worse. So,
Hey, well, let's go down the list here. We'll wrap things up here. We've kept you guys on a while, but I just, the one thing Floyd had mentioned in the press conference, that people see Floyd, the flashy side of him, or people always focus on the negative. And you have all you guys, for the most part, I mean, you have Ishay's a world champion, and Jay Leon just got his first title, but for the most part, you guys are all still building your name. Yet, he's kind of taken you all under your wing, put him in his promotion, and done that. So we'll start with Lanell, and then I'll work from there. But just Lanell, what has he meant for you, and what do people, that might have a negative perception of Floyd, might not they understand?
Well, first of all, he he does good by everybody that's in his camp and in his family. You'll never know that because you don't know that man personally. Me personally, being that I'm getting to know him and I know him the way that I do, I just know he has a big heart, and I mean, his worth alone is why a lot of people even have such a magnifying glass on his life. But we all are human, you know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. We all live life and day by day just like that man. So, I mean, anybody that has something to say negative about him, I mean, they talked about Jesus, you know what I mean? So, it's not, I'm not comparing him to Jesus. I'm saying if somebody of that caliber can get talked about negatively, I mean, it's only natural for them to throw a little hate his way. But as far as him, he's going to keep doing what he got to do. He takes very good care of, like I said, his family, his surroundings, us, his stable mates, his little brothers. I mean, if they got anything negative to say, they can say it, but it holds no value. We all are appreciative and blessed to be in the position that we're in, and we thank God and him for the opportunity.
Most definitely.
I'll get to you, Jay Leon. Just relax. Badou?
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, he's a really humble dude, you know. He take care of so many people, and, you know, he basically saved my career, saved my life. So I was back in Sweden for 6 months, and, you know, I thought my career was going to be over, and, you know, he helped me and, you know, bought me out of my contract, and, yeah, everything's good.
Luis?
People just don't know the difference between Floyd the entertainer, Floyd the person, and just we're able to know Floyd the person. And he's a great guy, humble, and to keep it 100. So it's an honest blessing, like everybody else said. And it's just full of it.
Now you can go ahead, Jay Leon.
Man, I was just, I was agreeing with Lanell when I spoke, but okay. I mean, we see the humble side of Floyd all the time. I mean, who isn't happy about the accomplishments that they accomplished? I mean, I am. I mean, everybody else is. Regardless of what, it doesn't matter how big or small the accomplishment is. You're always gonna be happy and ecstatic with the good things that you do. And outside of boxing, people don't see the things that this man does. I mean, he tips the whatever service, whether it's the valet, he tips everybody $200 and $300. Or if you go to a restaurant with him, he tips the whole staff. I mean, he changes lives every day, and that's why the blessings come the way they do. And as an entertainer, I mean, who you have to entertain in this game. You have to, you don't always have to be the good guy. They always just, and you don't always have to be a bad guy. But Floyd is who he is. But what you see on TV, he's a very humble guy. Chill. Just enjoying life. And he always gives us our shine. He gives us our shine. Always, speaking, on our behalf and the good that we do. And, and we learn a lot from him. So, I mean, it's definitely a blessing. I know we can all agree that it's a blessing to be on the team with him and to have such a mentor like Floyd Mayweather. So, it's not too much you could say. I mean, people have their own perception about him or whatever the case, but they really can't have it. I mean, they can only go off what they see, of course. But, I mean, we know him personally, and we see the good. And that's all, if you see the good in someone, and it's okay.
And from a professional standpoint, not that you all don't have the ability at someday to be world champions, but it's got to be pretty cool, when you have him as a boss and he throws you on that pay-per-view, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can't hurt with that exposure to get more with him than about anyone else. Real quick, Zach, you're not on the money team, but what are your thoughts? You're the gym, you're around them all the time. What do you see?
Hold on. Let's correct that. Let's make that correct. Zach is with the money team, man. I mean, Zach, this is how I put it. I feel like you with the money team, you don't have to have to stamp the money team. I mean, if you follow your dream, chasing your goals, I mean, you're not wasting your life. I mean, you're rich in yourself. Then you with the money team. You don't have to be told that you're with the money team. So Zach is, I see Zach pursuing his life dreams and doing and taking care of his responsibilities in life. That man's with the money team at the end of the day.
All right. Take a shot. All right, Zach, you want to add on to that?
Man, you know, just being around these guys, man, has been cool. You know, every time I come into the gym, you know, we always acknowledge each other. You know, and ain't no one changing. You know what I'm saying? I see what Floyd does for them and stuff, and the few times that I've held conversations with him and stuff like that, he's not a bad person like everybody thinks he is. You know what I'm saying? He's really, really cool, man. Really, really fun to be around and stuff like that. And he likes to have fun. I mean, he's a kid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's mature, but I mean, at the same time, you know what I'm saying? He's a kid at heart that likes to have fun and everything like that. So, you know, I mean, I'm just happy that he's treating my guys right, you know, and he's taking care of them and stuff like that, and he's taking care of his people and stuff. And so, you know, the thing that's crazy is if you see Roger and you see Jeff and you see Floyd Sr., if you look at all them and you combine all three of them together, you actually have Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you can't go wrong when you have that type of person.
And Jeff, let's just finish up with you. You know what are your thoughts on all that?
Oh, what?
Just as far as the perception people have of Floyd, you know what they might not understand, you know, when they just see the flashy part or the negative press he gets.
Well, I mean, the thing is that once you, I don't care who you are, I think Lanell said it best that, you know, when you get to the level where Floyd's at, I mean, everything you do is 10 times bigger than what it really is. You know, I mean, if Floyd farted in public, it's news. You know, I mean, so, and, you know, don't get me wrong, I mean, and Floyd is also an entertainer himself, so sometimes Floyd brings things onto himself, you know, and people just, you know, like I said, if he say one thing, then it turns into something a whole lot more than what it really is. I mean, just like, my thing is this, just like when Floyd talks about him betting, people get mad. Why are you mad? He's spending his money. That's his money. He can do what he wants with it. You know, so I mean, so basically, you know, you just have so many people that, you know, they hate Floyd, and a lot of them hate Floyd because of the fact that he has a lifestyle where it's kind of in your face, you know, and so, I mean, some people just can't accept that.
All right, guys, well, you know, we could keep you on here all night, but, you know, I didn't realize time flies. We have all you on here. We really appreciate you joining us. I'll go real quick. If you want to plug your Twitter, your Facebook, or anything else, or any final words you have to say, I mean, you guys, you know, you did the Money Team proud, obviously, 6-0 night. You guys are all 4-0. Every one of you kicked ass, and that was really, really cool. Lanell, just, you know, first start with you.
I just want to say, first of all, thanks for having me, man, making the team on there. And you can follow me on Twitter or at Lanell Bellows. You can follow me on Instagram, K.O. Bellows, Facebook, Lanell Bellows. And just know, the Money Team, we here, man. We ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
All right. And Badou?
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Jack. Thank you, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, Badou. Appreciate it. Luis?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Luis.
Yo, Cuba.
And then just want all the fans to just keep their eyes open. This is only the beginning for the Money Team, for myself, for all you guys, and you know, several world championships getting taken by the Money Team within a year or two. So definitely open your eyes.
All right, looking forward to that. All right, I guess you, Jay Leon, the problem child.
No, it's joking, Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter or the Instagram. You know, at JLeonLove, JLeonLove. Hit me, retweet me, like my picture. You know, do the whole joint. I retweet, talk back, like back, everything else. So get at me, and you know, as we are a family, we are a team as well. So we're gonna continue to work hard, push each other to the top. You know, this stable of fighters are great. We're all the future of the sport. So you know, stay tuned in, keep following our career. We appreciate all the listeners. We appreciate you having us on. And you know, just you know, it's a lot coming. And you know, just stay tuned.
Cool, Zach.
At the end of the day.
Oh,
take a shot.
There you go. I like it.
Zach?
You can follow me on Twitter at I Hate Zach Cooper. On Instagram. on Instagram, oh my gosh, it's Zach Cooper. On Black Planet and
Wait a minute. Do you really got a Black Planet? Hold on. Wait a minute. Badou. Black. You need to sit down. Are you serious, yo?
No, I'm joking.
Okay, dog. Because I was no longer going to be.
I was going to see if anyone would catch that.
I was about to say, no, we ain't even cool no more.
Are you plenty of fish?
Not on the winning team anymore. Hey, check this out. Girls, if you like more than 4 of my pictures, we're dating. So I'm just letting you know that right now.
Get out of here. This dude is retarded, man.
Jeff. Huh? What about you?
JeffMayweather.com.
Look at him.
What is that? Jeff Mayweather. How about Jeff Mayweather 1?
That's a hair kit. That's a hair kit site. JeffMayweather.com is a hair kit site.
Yes. And you need to go there instantly. You need to go to the head.
Anybody else got any insults or anything else they want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
No, I just want to say, shout out to my boy Zach Cooper. He got the biggest head here in boxing. You feel me? He keeps the extra large headgears on deck. So if anybody here swells up and needs a headgear too, you know how there's Zach Cooper. Because he got all your head needs.
Here we go. Are we really gonna do this over the air? Do you really want to die over there? You don't want to.
And hopefully Zach Cooper will come down. Hopefully Zach Cooper will come down during the doghouse hours and put some real work in.
Whoa! I put that work in. I put that work in. I just be chilling. I just be chilling right now. If
I just want to let you know, Young Memphis is over here, and he said he put that work in on you. So at the end of the day, we ain't gonna speak on that. Take another shot. But that's another show. No here there.
Hey, Memphis know we gotta try to shut up what we gonna get back in.
Stop all that stuttering, Zach.
Ain't no stuttering.
We talk about that sparring for sure, though. Anyone gets a chance to go down to the Mayweather gym and check out. If you guys do put on some relations battles out there from, Memphis, and the amateurs like to up to, Badou and Jay Leon had some killer sessions in there. Luis is killer in there. So, yeah, it's definitely some entertaining work to be seen down there in the Mayweather Boxing Club. All right, anyone else? No? All right, well, thanks for Bermane Stiverne joining us at the top of the hour. Ashley's phone died, so she's not with us. Check us out. Check her out on Twitter at Ashley Ferrara. Guys, thanks so much.
I'm about to follow you, girl.
Oh, hey, congratulations to Ashley. She just finished law school, right? She just graduated there, so congratulations to her on that. So, other than that, guys, appreciate it, and we'll get you back on some other time, maybe one-on-one, so we can spend a little more time with you. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
thank you.
All right. Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.